The dog limped in front of the bakery, bleeding and broken. People jeered, threw rocks, even laughed. But when security footage surfaced, the truth shattered everyone's assumptions. This wasn't just any stray, and what he'd been through left even the cruelest critics speechless. What the camera revealed: absolutely heartbreaking. A battered German shepherd limped onto the pavement, his fur matted with blood, skin raw from wounds. His ribs were visible through his torn coat, and he staggered with every step. Instead of compassion, the crowd responded with disgust. "Get away, mutt!" someone shouted, hurling a stone. The dog yelped, but didn't run. He simply stood there, eyes heavy with pain but calm. Another rock flew, hitting his flank. Some bystanders jeered. Others pulled out their phones, to record, not help. Inside the bakery, a teenager named Alex watched from the window, horrified. While others laughed, he pressed record on his phone. "Why are they doing this?" he whispered. The dog looked at no one, just stood, head low, tail still. Alex couldn't take it anymore. He stepped outside, shouting, "Stop! What's wrong with you people?" But his voice was drowned out by cruelty and ignorance. No one knew who the dog was. No one cared. To them, he was just a stray, just a nuisance. But to Alex, and soon, to the world, he was something much more. The dog slowly curled up on the cold concrete near the bakery entrance, blood drying around the raw patches on his side. One ear hung limp, torn. A deep scar ran along his flank, and his right hind leg trembled with every slight movement. Despite his condition, he didn't growl, didn't snap. He just watched. Alex sat near him now, keeping a respectful distance, phone still recording. He didn't know why he felt so drawn to the animal. Maybe it was the dog's eyes. They weren't wild. They were tired and sad, like someone who had seen too much for one lifetime. That he posted the video with the caption, "Why are people throwing rocks at him? Look at his eyes." People wanted to know more. Animal control hadn't arrived yet, and no one had claimed the dog. But Alex noticed something strange. There was a faint outline where a collar used to be. This wasn't a wild stray. This dog had once belonged somewhere, to someone. And now, the internet was starting to wonder who and why he had been left. Like this. Later that day, Mr. Callahan, the bakery owner, reviewed the footage from the store's outdoor camera. He fast-forwarded through the early morning footage, expecting to find nothing. The child's scream echoed faintly through the grainy audio. Then, out of nowhere, the same battered German shepherd charged into frame. He sank his teeth into the man's arm, knocking him down and sending the attacker running. The child bolted to safety. Mr. Callahan froze the frame. The dog hadn't been loitering for food. He wasn't a threat. He was a protector, and the townspeople had attacked him without ever knowing the truth. Mr. Callahan didn't hesitate. He uploaded the footage to social media, overlaying the video with the caption, "The truth about the stray outside my bakery this morning." Within minutes, it spread like wildfire. Side-by-side clips of the dog limping in pain and the earlier footage of him saving a child from an attacker took over every feed. People couldn't believe it. The same dog they mocked, chased off, and pelted with stones had risked his life that morning for a child he didn't even know. His injuries suddenly made sense. Those burns and cuts weren't from neglect. They were battle wounds. Comment sections were flooded with apologies. "I was there," one person admitted. "I threw a rock. I didn't know. I'm so sorry." Another wrote, "He's a hero. We failed him." Local news stations picked up the story. Headlines read, "Injured dog saves child, then gets attacked by town." Alex was interviewed, his voice shaking with emotion. He just stood there. He didn't deserve what happened to him. Volunteers and rescue groups began searching for the dog, desperate to find him before it was too late. What started as outrage turned into a mission. Now everyone was asking the same question. Where was the hero now? As the video continued to circulate, so did the outrage. People who had once walked past the dog without a second glance were now facing harsh judgment online. Screenshots from the original video identified those who had thrown rocks or laughed. Some deleted their accounts. Others issued teary apologies on camera. Local news stations ran the story nonstop. Talk shows discussed it. Headlines like "Hero Dog Shamed by Town He Protected" painted a painful picture of how quickly the public could turn on the voiceless. Meanwhile, the bakery was overwhelmed with visitors, not for pastries, but to leave toys, treats, and handwritten. Notes. Alex placed a sign in the window. To the dog we didn't deserve, we're sorry. The guilt was spreading, but so was the love. Strangers began organizing search parties, hoping to find him. No longer seen as a nuisance, the dog had become something else entirely. A symbol of redemption. 2 days later, a breakthrough came. One of the animal control officers recognized the dog from the footage. His name was Max, and he wasn't just any stray. He was a retired canine, once assigned to a nearby precinct. Max had gone missing 6 months earlier during a chaotic flood rescue, swept away in the current while trying to reach a trapped family. Everyone thought he'd drowned, but somehow, Max had survived. And for 6 months, he'd wandered the outskirts of the city, injured, hungry, and alone. No chip had been updated, and his tags were long gone. No one had realized the quiet stray limping through alleyways was once a trained protector. The revelation stunned the town. The same dog they'd cast out had once saved lives in uniform. And now, without a leash or command, he had done it again. Max hadn't forgotten who he was. It was time the town remembered, too. The search intensified. They followed tips from social media, knocking on warehouse doors, scanning drainage ditches. It was a teenager, not much older than Alex, who spotted Max curled up behind a dumpster behind an auto shop, shivering, barely conscious, his eyes dull. Within minutes, help arrived. Max was carefully lifted into the back of an animal rescue van and rushed to a veterinary clinic. The vet team worked urgently, cleaning infected wounds, treating burns, stitching old gashes. They were shocked he had survived this long without medical care. Alex visited that evening, pressing his hand gently to Max's paw. "You're not alone anymore," he whispered. Over the next few weeks, Max began to recover. His fur slowly grew back. His appetite returned. He even wagged his tail when Alex entered the room. Donations flooded in for his care, and the community that once ignored him now sent toys, blankets, and letters that he had every reason to fear humans. But somehow, he didn't. Max wasn't just healing physically. He was finding trust again, and in doing so, he reminded everyone watching what forgiveness truly looked like. The news of Max's survival reached far beyond the town. One story, in particular, caught the attention of a retired police officer named Sam Bennett. When he saw the footage, he dropped his coffee cup. He recognized the walk, the tilt of the head, even the scar above the left eye. "That's Max," he whispered. "My Max." Sam had been Max's handler for 5 years. After the flood incident, he'd searched for days, even weeks, refusing to believe Max was gone. But eventually, the trail went cold, and he was forced to grieve what felt like losing a partner and a family member. Now, against all odds, Max was alive. Max whimpered. Sam dropped to his knees. "Hey, buddy. I'm here," he choked out, tears running freely. Max struggled to stand, pushing forward until his body pressed against Sam's chest. It was as if no time had passed at all. The room went silent, save for the soft thump of Max's tail against the floor. They were home, together again. Max was officially discharged into Sam's care 2 weeks later. Though he still had a slight limp and some scars that would never fully fade, his spirit was unbroken. Max's hero day. People gathered to meet him, children offered treats, and even those who had once turned their backs came forward with apologies. Alex stood beside Max, beaming. "You changed everything," he whispered, rubbing behind the dog's ear. Max, once thrown rocks at, now received medals, love, and endless respect. He wasn't just a stray anymore. He was a symbol of courage, of second chances, and of a town forever changed.